now there's so much instructional learning shit. Like, people want to teach people, and it's so easy to obtain knowledge now, you know? So I feel like, you know, the next generation, they've got it fucking pretty laid out for them.
Today on the podcast, we have Jesse Missman. Jesse has been a professional tattoo artist for over 9 years now and specializes in black and gray realism. Currently residing in Sacramento, California, and working at the Skull Museum, a high-end tattoo shop in downtown Sacramento, with nearly 10,000 followers on Instagram and having done multiple tattoo conventions both in and out of the country. We are super excited to have Jesse on the podcast to share his insights on how he got to where he is today. All right, so Jesse, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, dude. We're super excited to have you on. You know, you were definitely one of the first few people that I thought of to come on the show. You know, obviously being friends for super long and being just super consistent with your work for all these years. So it's super cool too to see, you know, someone who's kind of known what they want to do for so long. You know, like being young and just sticking with your profession. There's so many people that like jump around. Yeah. You know, even like myself. So. Why don't you just start off by talking a little bit about your upbringing and, you know, how you got your start in art and tattooing and kind of, you know, where you're at now?
So, you know, I've always been interested in art since I was kind of a kid. You know, it wasn't really ever a thought, you know, it was more just doing it. It was just fun, you know, I'd sit there and fuck around and just doodle, you know, especially being in school and stuff. I never really liked doing school shit, but I always had a fucking pencil or a pen there, you know, so you just fucking around on the notebooks and shit. You know, and that was kind of like, you know, when I was like middle school, I drew a lot, and then high school it got a little bit harder, you know, obviously growing up, you're hanging out with your friends, you're skateboarding, you're playing music, so like devoting time to like staying inside and just drawing while all your friends are having fun and shit, it got really hard, so I became kind of like a lazy artist, so looking at tattooing, that was something that I'm just like, all right, this is something I can do for a living, but I can also, I'm kind of like, I have to finish art, you know? I was really good at starting a bunch of pieces and never finishing them, so this is something that I had to. I can't just be like, all right, fuck it, that's good enough, and I have like a fucking half-done tattoo, you know? So
what kind of like what kind of student were you? Would you do well in school, or did you just kind of like...
No, I was fucking terrible at school. I have really bad AD, so I just, like, my focus is just not fucking there, unless it was just, like, super, like, right up my alley, you know? So most of the time it wasn't. I was just bored, you know? So
I was always the same way. There was like one year where I got like honor rolls because like I tried extremely fucking hard. Yeah.
Dude, even if I like doing good for me, if I could score a couple C's, I was doing pretty fucking good for myself. Yeah. Because I just like in high school, you know, I just fucking never went. That's why I got kicked out of high school originally, just because like, dude, you never fucking show up, and when you do, you're either drawing or sleeping. You know? So when I got kicked out of there, I went to a continuation school where I was able to kind of, you know, actually do better in school, but then I actually drew a lot more too, because I could kind of manage both of them. Yeah. You know, it was a shorter day, it was an easier environment, you know, so I felt like going over there kind of boosted me a little bit. Two guys that I went to school with, Daniel Talag and Greg Santos, both of them, you know, they were drawing. And me and Dan would always talk about tattooing and shit, and he actually ended up starting to tattoo. And I was like, fuck, that's so fucking sick, you know? And then fucking he helped his cousin Greg start tattooing. I was like, oh, god damn, I gotta get on my shit. Yeah. Dude, I've been talking about this forever, you know? So, you know, graduating high school, you know, I hit up the local shop, Hot Ink, and, you know, I kept hitting them up. I'm like, no, we don't need anyone. And then actually, when we were jamming one time, when we had our old band, you know, we were fucking around. I got a phone call from Danny. He was like, you still want a tattoo? I'm like, fuck it. He's like, grab your shit, grab your portfolio, and come down here right now. And so went down to Hot Ink, and they kind of vouched for me that, you know, it's like trying to get my shit there. I was about it, you know, and that's how I landed my apprenticeship, you know.
So that's funny. So even before you were like just working regular job, you were trying to get into that before.
I wanted to. I just didn't know how to. You know, it's like you see something and you didn't really like. I knew someone, but I didn't know how the fuck you got into that. You know, there's a bunch of dudes doing it at home, and I knew I didn't want to be.
What year did you get into tattooing?
So I got hired on my apprenticeship December of 2009. And I didn't start, so during then, I was, for the first 2 years, I just tattooed myself and my friends, you know, just trying to figure it out, you know? And it took me a fucking while to figure shit out, you know? I'd say the first 4 years, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, honestly.
Yeah, I'm saying this because nowadays everyone is going onto YouTube or like the internet, like, how do I become this and how do I become
that wasn't really a thing, you know, back then, you know? I kind of wish it was a little bit, just because then I could have, like, just looked some shit up, you know? It was more like back then, Instagram wasn't even there yet, so... It was just tattoo magazines, you know. I'm like, that's fucking cool, but I have no idea how the fuck you get to that. Like, you know,
I didn't see that too. Of like looking up like how to like work the skin or like
now there's so much instructional learning shit. Like people want to teach people, and it's so easy to obtain knowledge now, you know. So I feel like. You know, the next generation, they've got it fucking pretty laid out for them, you know, so...
So all of you was like straight up trial and error and then looking at other people.
Trial and error and then just trying to figure out how people were doing shit, you know? And then obviously when I actually started working in the shop, you know, everyone there, you know, been tattooing a little bit longer, but still knowing, like, I felt like really, really could tell you how shit works. You just had to do it, you know, so...
What was it like with the first, like, couple people you tattooed and then, like, trying to convince them... I mean, there's always those people that are like, I'm like, fuck it, I'm down.
So luckily, the first hell of people I tattooed were all homies. Like, you know, and so they were just like, fuck yeah, do it. Like, there was no question.
Right.
They were just like, wait, I get a free tattoo? Like, sick. Yeah. And then they're like, they aren't expected to be shitty, you know? So they're kind of just, so if it's not as shitty as they're expecting, then we're both stoked.
Right. There you go. Yeah. So what was it like going from like a regular job, right, to making that, you know, transition of like, all right, I'm going to be doing this, where it's kind of like, you know, you're all commission in a sense, and it's based off of the work you put out and how well you do.
It was kind of scary, you know, like I didn't, you know, to tell the truth, you know, I worked at a fucking pizza place for like 5 years before I was delivering pizzas, so I knew that I wasn't gonna fucking do that shit forever, you know. And tattooing, I guess I didn't really think about the end game at the point. I just knew that I was like, this is cool, and I want to fucking do it. I'm fucking young, and I figure if I'm gonna fucking risk it, you know, might as well do it when you're young, you know. So there's people who start it way later in life, and I give it up to them because I'd be even more terrified. Like now, if I was like, you know, one of my, you know, like a inspiration of mine, Bob Tyrell, he didn't start tattooing I think until he was like 35, and he's one of the best in the fucking world. But I could not imagine switching careers at 35, dude. Wow. I'd be tripping, dude. Yeah, because there's you know, there's that point when you're apprenticing, you're not making money off tattooing. Luckily, I was doing a little piercing during that just because it, you know, made me some money, you know.
Speaking of that, you remember when you gauged my ears from just like a straight nothing to like a...
Yeah, it's brutal.
You know, like...
Same, then I was just like, still, I knew what I was doing, but, you know.
Like, the funny thing about that was like, I had literally no idea, like, that you were supposed to go little by little.
Yeah, I mean, you could do either way. I'm sure that probably wasn't the best way to do it, but...
that was horrible.
Fuck, dude, yeah.
But we did it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like your mindset has changed from, like, first starting out, you know, obviously you're at the Skull Museum now, from Hot Ink. What is, like, do you have those future goals in mind of, like, what you want, you know, your life to be like, or like how are you trying to kind of like design your life to a certain extent of how you want it to be? Yeah,
to an extent, you know, not too much. I kind of let it happen a little bit. You know, I definitely want to have like self goals for myself, you know, and that's always been, you know, a thing for me is to always just go further. Like I never ever want to be stagnant or comfortable, you know. When I'm comfortable, I'm lazy, and then shit just fucking sits there, and it's not inspiring, you know. So going to the Skull Museum was that was probably the best move I ever made, and you know, if it could happen earlier, I kind of wish it did, you know, because there was a cool while where I was just sitting around and I felt really stagnant for a long time, and that kind of just ate away at me until I got the job offer to work up there. So,
which is crazy, right? Because there's so many people that probably would have just like, I mean, we know people, right? Like, that would have just been content.
It's easy to be comfortable, dude. It's easy, you know, because you don't have to think about it. You're like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my shit, I'm going to bounce, and it's just the same fucking shit, you know? And people like the monotony. I don't, you know? Like, I fucking literally will change shit, regular shit in my fucking day to make it so it's not the same shit. I'll go... Even though there's a fucking coffee shop right on the way to fucking work, every fucking day I will take the cutty way just to hit the other one just to make it fucking different, you know? Funny. Just little shit like that. I'll change. Yeah, I'll take a different way home, you know? Just because I get so fucking bored so easily, you know?
I feel like that's rare as hell because, like, humans are just, like, creatures of habit.
Yeah,
I'm just like totally like that. Like I'm just gonna do the same. You know what I mean? Like like routines and all that. So
I feel it, and that's you can't blame anyone, because if it works for you, you keep doing it. But sometimes to me, it just the days just start to blend together, and just everything just kind of is just the same, and then you're just like, I'm fucking bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not to cut us off track, but let's bring it back a little bit. When you're an apprentice, how long did it take you to become like your full-on artist? I don't know how that works.
So technically, an apprenticeship, pretty much, I'd say I did that for maybe about like a year and a half. Okay. During that time, for the first like 7-8 months, it was literally just me watching, cleaning up, doing a bunch of fucking shit work around the shop. Stupid fucking shit that nothing pertains to tattooing. But that's just kind of what you had to do. And it's mainly that's like an old school thing where. They put apprentices through a bunch of bullshit to see if they'll stick around for that shit. If you're gonna bounce during that, then you're not cut out for the shit. Put on the floor, quote unquote. And even at that time, I don't think I was ready to be on the floor. I was stoked. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can make some fucking money. Yeah. I can do some pretty okay tats, but it probably would have been smarter to chill out for a little bit longer, and just really absorb. A little more information.
And was your apprenticeship paid, or was it straight up?
I paid for it, just to get in there. It's also a sense to show that you're dedicated, So, I paid for like the time and just to learn what knowledge I could, So, if I could do it a little different, I probably would change a few things up a bit, but it is what it is.
So, I mean, for anybody like that will be listening to this, right? Mm-hmm. That is. It's a good artist and wants to get into tattooing. What is some of those things you want to change?
So honestly, I would figure out exactly, what type of art you're into, what kind of style you like, if it's black and gray, if it's color, if it's this, and try to seek out an artist that, you really look up to, and someone, or, someone that's even close to that, and see if, they'd be willing to take on an apprenticeship.
Right.
I wouldn't really just throw into any shop. There's a million fucking shops, and there's a ton popping up every day, So an apprenticeship, you could get one somewhere, but it could be literally the blind leading the blind, This guy might know a little bit more than you.
Right.
You're not really learning,
So almost like reaching out to a mentor, somebody.
Yeah, there's a ton of people I've met in life, and they've all had these really cool mentors, and someone who they still talk to, and someone who you can really tell that this person learned from them because their style is, they've adapted traits from this artist, and put it in their own, and that's when you can really tell like a true apprenticeship, I just got back from Canada 2 weeks ago, and I was at this tattoo shop called Tattoo for the Individual. This guy's been tattooing for 30 years. Kurt something, I can't remember his fucking name. I feel bad. But I met his apprentice there, Jack Wiltz Jr., I think, and he had just a really traditional sense to an apprenticeship, and I kind of thought that was really cool, like how it's still like going to his shop almost like went back in time, I was like, this is fucking cool. This is like they're doing it the right fucking way. I felt like,
Nice.
So it was a cool thing. I admired it for sure.
Yeah. So what were like some of the kind of mental challenges you went through when you were like making that transition from hobby to the Skull Museum? Because there's always that like thought of like, shit, am I gonna lose this much clientele?
Oh yeah,
100%. Like you jumped up your prices too.
Oh yeah. Dude, I changed a lot. Like everything changed, So I went from doing all my booking, everything to myself, my own pricing to myself, to a studio where they do all the booking for you. They post on, social media for you. We have a set rate for the shop, so I kind of had to adapt to that. And I was sketch at first, honestly, because I'm just like, I don't know. It was just like, because I felt like I worked so hard to get where I was at, and I was at a good spot, but I knew that it was, it wasn't anything like, I don't know. I felt like there could definitely be more, and it could be a lot more organized, So it was definitely scary. Yeah. I was kind of skeptical on going up there at first. I talked to a few people, my wife, my friends, and everyone's like, dude, just fucking do it. Let's, because it's something I've been wanting for a long time, was to branch out. I just didn't know how, when, who, where, whatever. I got the offer to work up there, and it almost seemed kind of too good to be true. I'm like, I don't know if I trust this. And I started working, I was like, fuck, this is dope. And it's legit, and it's super structured, which is really good for tattoo artists because it's extremely easy to be lazy. Yeah.
So what, who sold you? Mm-hmm. Like, who reached out to you? Like, who sought you out at the Skull Museum? Who, I had gotten a message from the owner, Nick Westfall.
Just happened to be my day off. Me and my wife were actually going to look at wedding venues that day, and he's like, would you be able to come up here to Sacramento today? I was like, fuck, I'm literally going in the opposite direction to go here. No, we're both just kind of like, oh, fuck, dude. And she was like, dude, just fucking do it. So we checked the wedding venue, did all this shit. I fucking booked it up there. I checked out the shop. I was like, holy fuck, I've never seen a shop that looked
super clean.
Because, dude, it was just so clean cut, super just modern looking, and just like something I'd never fucking seen before. And that already was like, this is fucking dope. And I talked to the boss, you know, and you know, he gave me some insight on how they go about everything. And he was like, you know what, he's like, I'm about to get married, I'm gonna go on my honeymoon. He's like, in like a week or two, just have an answer for me. So I thought about it, and I fucking hit him up. I was like, let's do it. And then, you know, I finished out all my appointments back in Vallejo, and I started there like probably 3 or 4 months later, right after the summer.
What was the fear like, or I mean, not even fear at all, but of like kind of breaking the news to all the guys in the shop, because you've been close to them and grown up with them, right? That I honestly, to my old, you know, my homie and boss, Rio, like he fucking, that was the hardest one to break it to, because the other homies, like I told Greg and told everyone, and they're like, yeah, it's dope, blah, blah, blah. And then telling him, I was like, bro, I gotta talk to you, and he's just like, you dip? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, it better be worth it. I was like, it is, you know? So, like, he's like, yeah, I knew it was going to come at some point, you know? And I was just like, you know, I kind of did too. It's just I was waiting for something to actually be worth it. Yeah,
you know?
And it literally fell into your lap.
Yeah,
right?
I had people hit me up before, and I'm just like, I'm not going to go leave my homies to go to somewhere that's exactly the fucking same.
Right.
I wanted to go to the Skull Museum because everyone there specializes in something that I love, which is black and gray tattooing. So it's literally like the best learning environment ever. We have artists that travel from all over the world to come there, and we all do similar styles. So learning there is insane every single day.
So how often does somebody like who just loves your work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you've done like literally almost all my tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get somebody that just, you know, they love you as a tattoo artist, and they're like, okay, I want some color.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that like?
Often a lot, dude. I feel bad because, you know, back in the day, or even, you know, 2 years ago, I would still do color tattooing, or I'd still do lettering, all this just because we've created a bond together, you know. But as I kind of got older and as I got more settled in here, I'm like, I really just want to stay in one form of tattooing, you know, and stay what I know that I can give them my best product. It's like, I can do a color tattoo, but why not go to the dude who fucking loves to do it, you know? Like, I'll always recommend someone. So people message me all the time, and I will constantly recommend them to this guy or this guy or this guy. People who I think would do a great job in what they're looking for. Like, I could do your tattoo, but go to a guy who specializes in it, you know? It's just, I know we have our relationship, and that's me trying to fucking, you know, really make sure you're taken care of too.
For sure. So here's another thing I want to touch on is like talent versus skill. Like, do you know anybody who have like before they, you know, they weren't the best artists, but they're like decent or good at tattooing? Yeah, no, like, you have to be a good artist to be. You know, it kind of goes both ways, because some people are just really good at learning. You know, a skill fast. Like, I've seen people who didn't really dabble with art before, and all of a sudden they just start fucking around with it. You know, I've had a couple of homies where we've drawn together, and I've seen them progress really fast, and it's something that they've never done before. Yeah, exactly. But it's in them, but they just never, I guess there was never a drive for it, or really a want for it, but then they try it, and I'm like, dude, you're fucking dope, dude. Like, so, it definitely, you know, skill is definitely one thing, or talent's one thing, but, you know, skill is just learning. And then, you know, it's constantly learning. And then work ethic too, right? Because there's some people who are like super talented, but they just don't have the drive at all to do better, or you know what I mean, or like dedicate themselves to it.
That's a hard one, you know. Like, I'm obsessed with working and obsessed with keeping busy constantly, you know. So
which is rare. So that's super rare.
You know, like, it's just because if even when it comes to taking a vacation, if it's longer than a couple days, I can feel myself getting lazy, and I'm like, I could get used to not doing anything, you know. So I have to get back into it, you know, or because I know myself, you know. So,
So social media has been super huge, you know, for you and your business, and I don't feel like it was ever like, it was something that just kind of came natural to you. It was never something that was, you know, that you really had to like, I don't know, did you ever get training on it? Did you ever like do a lot of research on it, or it was just like you did dope shit and then you just put it on there?
At first, I didn't really realize how to utilize the tool. Like, it was more just like, hey, check out my shit, come on, tattooed, you know. And then as I started noticing that I could get a little more love off certain shit, you know, then I started researching it. I'm like, oh, when is the best time to post, or how many hashtags should you use, how many what people should you tag, what people can help you boost your shit, so I've constantly I always talk to people still to this day, because Instagram's a fucking weird thing to where it's a great fucking tool, but the algorithms and shit, they can fuck up your shit, dude. You're doing fucking solid one week, next week no one sees your shit, dude. And it's just what it is. So I try to kind of strategize on it. Every single one of my posts is strategized. Like, I don't ever post just a post. Like, I never post a tattoo the same day I did it. It's always at a certain time, a certain day, and I always tag very specific things to try to get as much reach as possible,
So you said that the Skull Museum handles your social media for you. So is there somebody like...
So they don't handle mine in particular, but they handle our shop page, which does a lot of stuff for us.
Yeah.
So if I get a cancellation, it's usually they post something through the page. So pretty much everything is done by either our marketing manager via FX Media, and then also our assistant Lauren. So both of them together handle our shit pretty fucking well,
Right.
So I don't really do a whole lot but tattoo and post my shit, So.
Yeah.
Like, so some of the artists there will do like Vera will give an option where he's like, hey, I can run your page for you if you'd like, He's like, I'll do this many posts, I'll do this kind of shit, And to me, I was just like,
and it's gonna be this much amount.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a fucking service.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna hey, let me just run your shit for free, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's running fucking a million other accounts. So, and I like doing it myself. I like interacting. So, a lot of artists who won't like respond to people on their, direct messages. I try to respond to everyone, whether I can help them out or not. Just to show them some fucking love. I've had people fucking Rob hit back, and just me responding to them fucking like solidify. They're just like, yep, this dude's tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can actually talk. Because this is the only time I'm gonna fucking talk to him. Because they email directly to our booking manager. So I'm not usually I don't meet my client or talk to them to the day of the appointment.
Okay.
So I've never met them before. They come in like I have a general idea of what they want, but we have our consultation. We design the tattoo and we make the tattoo the same day. So there's a lot of trust on them to. So and that's the reason why they're coming to us. Is because they trust us that we can fucking handle
it's
that
a whole
shit,
service.
It's a lot all in one fucking day, and I don't blame people, especially people coming in for their first tattoo. That's a fucking lot to be like, never got a fucking tattoo. I'm meeting this guy for the first time. He's designing it for the first time and tattooing it all the same fucking day. That's kind of a lot, But the trust from our clients is fucking unreal.
So, and then how was it like that? Because I know back at Hot Ink you were doing like, you would be like, send me what you want, and I'm going to draw it up and work with it a little bit, and then book you at this date. So with Skull Museum, it seems like it's all one day. So you doing about one appointment a day? Because I know you used to bust out like 2 to 3.
Just one big appointment a day.
Okay.
So that's all we do. If I do tattoos, it's really fucking rare. It's usually like I'll be finishing a tattoo and then finishing another one, or like a hand tattoo, which is something smaller, and then finishing one.
I feel like that's got to take a lot of stress off you to think, I'm doing my one tattoo today, and then...
Yeah, it goes both ways, because designing it the same day is super stressful, because I've done it to where my ideal... So I get into the shop about 9:30, I set up, my client comes in at 10. I ideally like to get started tattooing, so after completing my whole design by like 12:30, which is not a lot of time to design an entire tattoo and do that. So, but sometimes I don't get started till like 3 o'clock, and I'm fucking tripping, dude. And that's when my wife starts tripping, because she knows that I'm about to be home late as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, to me, like, we technically close at 6 o'clock, but closing a shop doesn't really mean anything. That's just something for, Yelp and business hours, So I'll stay there. If I get off at 6, I'm fucking hyped, dude. Most of the time it's like 7:30, and sometimes it'll be like 9 o'clock, like earlier this week. I had a guy fly in from Missouri to get tattooed, and he had a big ass fucking arm, and I was like, oh, it might take a session and a half, so you might have to come back. And then I realized he was from out of state, and I'm like, fuck. I was like, we gotta finish this shit. So we fucking stayed there till almost 10 o'clock at night, and we fucking, because he flew in that morning and flew out the next day. So I was like, we have to finish this shit, you know?
I remember my brother Kane did the same thing, and the dude, like, for whatever reason, slept in or something like that.
Yeah, he was telling me about that, dude.
That sucks.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah. So I saw on social media that you just like basically your books are closed. I mean, so you're super booked out. Did you ever experiment with sponsored ads to try and get more clientele?
I do sponsored ads once in a blue moon, so I just did one recently, and I kind of just do that just to pop up in people's feeds here and there, you know. So I don't ever rely on sponsored ads because, tell the truth, they don't really do a whole fucking lot. You know, you get a couple likes on the picture, you get a few more followers, but realistically, I did a post of a tattoo the following, you know, after the ad ended, and that got way more fucking shit than a sponsored ad did. So I don't know. They can help out some people, but to me, I don't know. It's just kind of pointless. It's just Instagram just trying to get you to fucking pay so people see your shit. So yeah.
So for how do you think that like you started gaining so much following? Obviously, your work is super. You know, you do super good work, but like. Was it do you think it was the consistency? Do you think, I mean, obviously the work with the consistency, do you think it was the tags? Like,
I think it goes to a little bit of everything. Yeah, I think consistency is key, and I think once I started sticking with one particular style, that's when it started. Yeah. Because before you'd see a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so like a page like that can look kind of chaotic, you know, but when you see a page where everything is done within a really similar style, it has like a nice cohesive layout to it, you know? And that even comes down to the lighting of the photos, the composition of your photo, not even just the fucking tattoo, you know? How everything is placed on there. You want it to be visually appealing because people are going to look at your page, they're going to scroll like 2 or 3, they're not going to look at every single picture, they're going to do like 2, 3 quick scrolls, and you want to make sure it's looking pretty fucking saucy. Because, you know, some dudes who don't post shit ever, they're going to do 2, 3 scrolls, and they're going to be back in 2014 and your bootsy ass shit. You know, and that's what I was sketching. I'm like, no, just look at the first couple ones, you know?
So there's annoying habits in every industry, right?
Yeah.
Of people.
Yeah.
Obviously.
For sure.
What is, like, if you can, what is some like, because I know, like,
social media DMs or whatever.
Like, I know I've done some, like, I've shown you, like, a picture of a tattoo that I wanted, right? Like, there's, like, annoying shit like that.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me so much. It's more like people, messaging, they're like, hey, and it's just that. They're just like, sup, how much for a tat? And I'm just like, I have no idea how big or you want it at, any of this shit, you know? So definitely be clear, but also at the same time, I'm weird about shit. Like, if you are too descriptive with me and you have, like, fucking bullet points on your shit, I'm instantly not attracted to it.
You're not the type of person.
Yeah, no, because if you're so set on this idea, it's going to be really hard for me to tell you that half that shit ain't going to work. Because I like when people just give me elements and just let me run with it. Literally, that's the best way to do it. You're like, hey, I want a fucking this, and that. Just do it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, cool. That's, you know, if you tell me you want everything placed a very specific way, I'm instantly I'm not into it anymore, you know? Because at that point, you fucking design out your own tattoo and just have someone else do it, you know? It takes the fun out of it, you know? I love artistic freedom, you know? And some of my favorite pieces today were people literally came to me with the most simplest fucking shit. Like I need a fucking guitar and I need a goddamn skull, and then we create a whole fucking, you know, sleeve of just really cool imagery, you know?
Right. So. Yeah. Now, I know when you're doing your thing, there's never been, like, a point where I'm like, now, can you kind of switch this up or that up? Like, you know, it's like...
That I don't even mind that so much, because it's understandable to, you know, you want to modify certain shit, but if you modify it so much to the point where it's not in my style, then I'm like, why are you still here?
Right.
Like, go to... They're like, we'll do it more like this guy. I'm like, then fucking go to
that
guy, dude.
That's not me.
You can do that. It turns out that you can go to someone else, dude. Like, so, like, I want to give you what I think is fucking cool, you know, and what you think is cool, and something that you didn't even think was possible, or even I didn't think was fucking possible. And that's what the funnest part about it is, just trying to create something different, something fun, you know, and just, I don't know.
Yeah. So was there ever a specific moment where you kind of like even stop to like think about like how well like your business is doing, right? Like you're like, dude, I'm set. Like I'm like if you probably where you're at right now is like, I could do this for the rest of my life and I'd be pretty content, pretty happy with like, you know, the money you're making and just like your clientele and your flow, like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm content, but, you know, at the same time, being content and being comfortable is also, like I said earlier, you know, I get lazy with it, you know, so I always need something more. Yeah. You know, so now that, like, I really had it locked down at the shop, you know, with my booking stuff, my next focus is trying to travel more, you know, and really just see if I want to meet new people, I want to go tattoo. There's a ton of places around the world that, you know, I want to take, you know, my family and shit. I'm like, well, I could fucking make money and go on vacation at the same time, you know? And I thought that, and that's my next step, is because I always say, I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then I've been like slowly doing it, but some dudes out there, they're fucking killing it, and they're just on the road all the fucking time. And I don't know, I kind of envy it.
So kind of being like a traveling tattoo where you do like experiences, shops, and conventions.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of cool, you know, because you're just fucking you, and that's what breaks away from, you know, keeping shit stagnant too. It's different. You're throwing yourself into an environment that you're not comfortable in, and you have to adapt really quickly and just to fucking get to work.
And kind of push you to be better too. I bet when you're in a tattoo shop with a bunch of dudes you don't really know.
Oh,
you're like, on game.
Yeah,
you know?
even now though, because we've been looking over each other's shoulder and shit.
Yeah.
And we all do such similar shit that we have to know, but we also have details that separate us, you know. So,
right.
Excuse me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, every day, like I see like one of the dudes coming over looking at my shit. I'm like, hold on, just give me like 20, 30 minutes. You know, and we all do that to each other. We're like, hey, you know, just give me like an hour and let me look at this shit. You know,
right.
like. So it's just constantly learning, and I love it to where we can give each other advice and we can utilize that immediately. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm going to use that advice whenever it comes up. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this shit out right now. You know? Like, it's cool. We learn a lot from each other. We all design together. We all draw together. We all sit at a table and we all converse. I'm like, what do you think about this design? They're like, no, it's lame. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you're
right. So what do you think your main... You know, obviously, you touch you kind of just that person that just keeps going and doesn't want to be stagnant and get better and better. What's been your main motivation for success, do you feel? If you've ever thought about that?
Honestly, well, I have my wife and my 3-year-old son, so I want to make sure they're comfortable. Yeah. I want to make sure, I kind of want to give them everything that I didn't have. So I want to make sure they have like a nice, comfortable living. Also, at the same time, like, you know, I want my son to do my dad fucking does badass shit, you know, not like, you know, some other fucking shit, you know, so, and also at the same time for myself, you know, I just want to be fucking, I want to be hyped all the fucking time, dude, like, I get bored so easily that, like, I need to constantly keep this shit
going. So where do you think that, I mean, like, if, some people don't really dive that deep, but, like, where do you think that comes from? Does it come from does it come from a parent? Does it come from?
Yeah, I guess because you know I grew up as an only child by a single mom, and my mom, she was fucking just hustling the whole time. Like, she'd be working all the fucking time, dude. And it was just that's kind of instilled in me, like working shit, because I'd always see her just grinding, you know. So and like to me, when I started working, I got a job immediately as soon as I could when I was 15, and I've been working every fucking day since then, you know. The longest break I ever took was like 3 weeks, you know, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Like, I need to get back to work, you know, so. And then now being, you know, the last 10 years or so doing a job that I love too, it's just, it's fucking cool to be able to grind it out with something that I can really control, you know.
Do you, what was it like having a kid? Did that boost that, you know,
dude,
even more?
Because I'm like fucking tripping,
like
dude. I'm like, oh shit, dude, I got another mouth to feed, you know. So like, so fucking, you know, so like that made me just want to push even harder and just have like that security, you know. So I can't just sit there and rely on fucking walk-ins or rely on people they hit me up, you know. So that's why I was constantly out there, you know. I like talking to people, so I'll go out and about and I talk to anyone, dude. Like, you could be some random motherfucker and you're catching a business card. I don't give a fuck. I see a little tiny tattoo, you're catching one, dude. Gave one to the Uber driver. He just dropped us. He don't even fucking live here. This isn't like a Humble or some shit, and that was the first thing I seen a tattoo on his hand. I was like, boom, business card. Nice. I don't even fucking, my books are closed or not, but it's still, I still want people to, you know, this guy could hit me up in 5 fucking years and just be like, hey, I got your card. That's happened to me like a few times before. We're like, dude, I got your old business card from like 5-6 years ago. I'm like, dude, you never know when it's gonna happen.
That's funny because like with me, when I got into sales, it was like I had to be taught that, and that's like that's basically that's selling. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, dude, 100%. Dude, you're selling yourself. Yeah, you got to. You know?
So that's cool that it's kind of just came naturally to you. You know.
Well, you know, just being around, I've watched people who just sit there and we all have the exact same opportunity and the same everything. It's just what you choose to do with it, you know? And if you want to fucking sit there and just chill, go the fuck ahead. Yeah. I'm not going to fucking do that, dude. Like...
It's funny because I was telling Justin, like, I always have respect for people. Like, I always have respect for people that, like, you know, work a, like, crazy job where they got to do the same thing every day or get up super early. Or just, like, are cool with just being, like, there's nothing wrong. Like, it's cool with just being average.
Oh, for sure.
Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be nice to just be content. Like, you know what I mean?
I always tell my wife that, you know. I always tell her that I just want to, like, not... Sometimes I get a weird itch, like, every, I don't know, a couple months, where I just want to do some regular fucking mindless job where I don't have to think about anything. Dude. Because sometimes, sometimes like, my brain just fucking hurts of just thinking of shit, you know? So, like... I'll be like, man, I kind of just want to fucking roll out pizza dough.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, or just do something so monotonous to where I don't have to think. And then she always tells me, she's like, dude, you're fucking dumb, dude. Like, you'd go crazy in like fucking one day of
totally.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
It's like
but it's just, but it's just something nice to think about. You know, maybe one day.
Yeah.
When I retire, you know, I'll just go fucking mow lawn or something. I don't know.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But you know how we kind of want to end it here is, if you could give young Jesse, not your son, little Jesse, but young Jesse here, one piece of advice, you know, about anything tattooing life, what do you think that would be?
Don't be scared, and also don't hesitate to reach out to people. And honestly, take those fucking risks sooner than later.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I wish I would have done younger, and I kind of wish I would have kicked myself and like, dude, just fucking do it. Like, you're not getting any fucking younger.
Yeah.
You know? So that is probably the most important thing. Is to, you know, if I know now, you know, I would have been like, all right, you know, find a really good fucking place. You know, kind of get a game plan going, because I had no fucking game plan
you're
at
just
first,
going
you know? I was just going with it, and then started developing a game plan, you know, but now I would kind of, you know, have them lay everything out on the table and just fucking kind of keep it, you know, try to progress faster, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so.
That's awesome, man. No, I can really relate to that, though, because there's so many people that, you know, they, like, are scared to reach out to that person that they are following on Instagram or like whatever, Facebook, and they're just like literally all you have to do is message them.
Dude, most of
them,
and
they'll probably
shit,
just go get lunch or coffee with you and give you their whole secret.
Dude, most fucking people, like literally, like I was telling you earlier, I was looking up. I actually flying back from Canada, I was on the same flight with you know, Bob Terrell, who's a, you know, an amazing artist in the industry, and it was so cool. Like, I would have never imagined in a million fucking years, me and him sitting at a fucking bar, getting a couple drinks, both with like a 3-hour layover. So we just sat there for a couple hours just shooting the shit, and I was like, I would have never fucking imagined in my life. And it was cool to be able to talk to him, and he was even asking me, he's like, well, what do you do for booking, or what do you do for this? Because he was generally curious, you know, because he kind of wants to switch up his shit a little bit, and he noticed something that might be working better.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm asking him stuff, and I would have never imagined that we'd be in a Minneapolis fucking airport, fucking.
Did you literally just run into the same place as him?
So me and him, we kind of we've met a few times throughout the years, but then we really got to know each other. This past trip, because we were drinking at a buddy's shop, we went back to the hotel. And fucking, we threw on some old blues, some Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. And this dude's fucking amazing guitar player. So we got talking about music, and then it just kind of kicked off from there. The whole weekend we were talking, and we're like, oh shit, we have the same fucking flight back. So let's take take a fucking, you know, a bus over there, and fucking we took our flight, and we were in, you know, Minneapolis for a couple hours, and it was just so unreal, just shooting the shit. It was like surreal, you know. It tripped me the fuck out.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, man, it's been awesome having you on. Before we end, if someone wants to get tattooed by you, ask you for some advice, what's your contact, Instagram? If
you want to ask for any advice, inquiries and stuff, you can just hit me up on my Instagram. It's at JesseM_tattoos. You can just shoot me a DM. If it takes me a little bit to reply, don't trip. I'll fucking hit you up. You know, sometimes there's a bunch of spam in there. For an appointment, the best way is to email our booking manager directly, and that's at theskullmuseum@hotmail.com. Just, you know, give your name, your info, your ideas, your placement, and just, you know, be open-minded. And yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to that episode. Head on over to our YouTube page at youtube.com/ATS the podcast to keep up with new episodes dropping every week. And also follow our Instagram at All Things Success Podcast. Stay busy, and I'll see you guys next episode.